I'm back. You gotta love live. It totally just cut me off. I hope everybody's gonna be notified and you're coming back. There's a couple of you guys here. There are quite a few of you guys here. Come back, come back. I'm just gonna make a post. I'm back. I'm getting emails and messages. Come on, guys. I am back. Okay, there you are. I see you guys popping on. Okay. Now, what I was sharing with you guys, Victoria, yay. Victoria. Okay, I don't know why it did that, but I mean, it's live and sometimes lines get dropped. So I am going to do what I was planning on doing before we dropped here. Empowered Spiritual Entrepreneurs. That is the Facebook private group that I've created for any entrepreneurs out there who wanted to gather yourselves with like-minded other entrepreneurs, okay? So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to throw that here in the chat box, and I'm going to invite you guys all. Made it, Jamie. Woohoo. I'm going to invite you guys all to click on that link and request approval. Always, that's just how I created the group, and that's how I teach my clients to create private groups too. And so request to be a part of the group, and I posted a video in there, and it was entitled "Authenticity is the New Currency." Okay, and does that make any sense to you guys? Pop it in the chat box. Let me know if that makes sense to you guys. And here's why. Authenticity is truly where it's at. Because when you are representing your own business, when you're running a business, you want to attract clients who are here for you, right? Or are here because of you. Or you want to attract clients that you're going to resonate with. And if you're true about who you are, and if you're authentic about that, you're really not going to be afraid about pushing the clients that don't resonate with you away. You won't be, because you're not going to resonate with them anyway. So why would you want them as clients, right? So the truer you are to who you are, the truer you are to yourself, and where you allow people to see who it is you are, you guys are going to attract people who are like, oh my God, she's so real, freaking refreshing. That's who I want to work with. Okay, so authenticity is absolutely the new currency, especially in a healing, coaching, consulting, advising-based business. All right, so my question to you guys, ponder this, and I invite you also to be authentic. Throw it in the chat box. Private message me if you want. That's why I always keep my phone here. But let me know, what is it, what is it that you're afraid to share about yourself? What is it that you're afraid to tell people? So here's my journey. You know what? I'll even get my my little speech notes out, and I'll read you some of it. So here's my celebration. I did a speech this morning, and like I was saying in the live video on this other private Facebook group, is it kind of just was presented to me. It was just flowed through me. Is that right, English? And yeah, English is my first language. But literally I felt it, and I just put it to paper. I put it to paper, and I just started writing. And as I was writing this yesterday morning, I started experiencing shortness of breath. Okay, so that's my anxiety. I started experiencing shortness of breath, a lot of fear. So where emotional intelligence really came in is okay, I can recognize my anxiety. I know what's happening, but I no longer let it dictate what I can and can't do. Okay. So I was all day and all night. I had my daughter and her boyfriend over here. It was her boyfriend's birthday. And I even had his parents come over for dinner. And although I was really enjoying our time together, I was still having a hard time breathing. I was having, little anxiety and panic attacks, but I was aware of what was happening. And I used all my tools, my breathing techniques and my refocusing and redirection of my thoughts and so on and so forth. So I enjoyed the evening, and I did also honor my own boundaries, and I ended the evening a little bit early so I could really focus on wrapping my head around and perfecting this speech. So it wasn't perfect, but it will be perfect. It'll get better and better and better. And it's okay that it's not perfect, because done is better than perfect. So what I'm getting at is that that's kind of an example of how I, live with anxiety, but I do it anyways. Okay. I've been for the last year advocating that say yes, do it anyways. Say yes, worry about it later. Do it anyways. Even if you're scared, screw that. Worry about it later. Just say yes. Probably 2-3 years I've been saying that. And the reason why I say that is because there's always going to be a worry attached to anything that's unfamiliar. So one thing that plays in my head over and over and over again is something that Dr. Marissa Peer says, and she says, make the unfamiliar familiar. So that's something that I have written in my bathroom, and I do it every day, and I read it every day, is make the unfamiliar familiar. So what's unfamiliar to me at one time was the panic attacks, the shortness of breath. Oh my gosh, what can I do to make this go away? And that was basically pull back and go back into my comfortable place, right? Stay in my comfort zone. Because whenever I stepped out a little bit, can't breathe. Oh my gosh, what's happening? And the funny thing is that I only started experiencing anxiety and panic attacks after my husband and I separated 3.5 years ago. That was my first anxiety attack. So I didn't know what it was. I had to become familiar with it, recognize it, and then go, okay, this isn't going to kill me. Having a little bit of shortness of breath, that's my indication that, hey, Tanya, you're growing, you're moving forward. All right. So that's just an example of how you can shift your experiences or your mental illness or whatever. I still am a little uncomfortable describing my anxiety and depression as a mental illness, but that's because I've been conditioned to growing up to minimize the things that I've been feeling and experiencing. That's just what I learned to do, is to really minimize and pretend nothing's wrong. Okay. And what I've learned over the past few years is that you don't have to pretend. It's okay. It really, really, it's okay. It's okay that you experience, anxiety, depression, or whatever it is that you experience. That's okay. You can look at it and you can use it to your advantage. And I'm going to share with you guys how I used it to my advantage. Victoria says, I don't know what it is. I am notorious for saying how I feel. I feel resistance to intentionally hurting others with what I will say. I either bring out the best in someone or the worst. It's just my thing. Maybe I'm just fearful of the potential backlash and really don't want to deal with it, truth be told. Amazing. Thank you for sharing, Victoria. So you're notorious for saying how you feel. You feel resistance to intentionally hurting others. So does that keep you from really expressing how it is that you feel because you don't want to hurt anybody else? Let me know that. Okay. And thank you absolutely for stepping out and sharing, Victoria. Awesome. Okay. So here's what happens when you step out and own your authenticity. Okay. So I only expressed that I experienced anxiety and depression on a need-to-know basis. So basically, if my clients needed to know, or if it really suited the topic of conversation while I was doing a talk or a workshop or whatever, then I'd share a little bit. But I never really let people in on what was happening until I went through what is called a grief recovery program. So this grief recovery program was essential for me. I went ahead and I signed up for this program, and it was a 7-week program. And if you guys are interested in this, if you guys are going through any transitions, anything like that, I really encourage you guys to connect with Patty. Oh, I don't have her last name. I'll post the information in a little while. Her name is Patty, but she teaches a grief recovery program. And during that grief recovery program, all these things that I suppressed in my youth came up. All of these things that I suppressed. But they all played a huge part in anxiety and depression, okay? So did you guys know that there are 40 plus griefs out there? We think, you're fine. Unless there's a death that you're dealing with, you should be fine. But really, the top 2 griefs that we experience is death and divorce. And I was like, holy smokes, that makes sense. I don't know why I didn't, put it together before, but I do attribute it to growing up and learning that you're supposed to minimize your problems. It's not that big of a deal. So going through this program, I really acknowledged and admitted all of my experiences, and I was honest with myself, and I said, hell yeah, these things are big deals. Everything I experienced, everything my siblings experienced, everything my family experienced, big freaking deal. Big deal, okay? So I almost celebrated even more what I've accomplished in life and the parenting style that I took on. I even celebrated it more because I was like, holy shit, I came from that and this is what I'm doing. What? And it's okay to celebrate, okay? It is okay to celebrate. So that's what I do. So I went ahead and I honored the fact that this was flowing through me. I had it on paper and I went and shared it in a safe place. And that was my Toastmasters group. And that's just another one of my tribes. And what came of it is all these little green notes of encouragement and support. And out of 5 speeches, I won the award for truly wonderful speech. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm so thankful. So things like, I wanted to share one specific one with you. Thanks for sharing such a personal topic. Great down-to-earth humor. I'm going to talk about humor in a minute. This one here. Thanks for making yourself vulnerable. I would never have guessed. You're very positive and inspiring. But that's the thing. Like, the people who are dealing with it, you would never suspect, right? Because, I don't know, for different reasons. And for me, it's because I've pretty much been conditioned to act like it's not a thing. There's one more I want to share with you guys here. Loved your courage to an intimate talk, okay? If only the rest of us could be more open about our personal problems, we could change the world. And I completely agree with that. Now let's get back to humor. So that's my encouragement for each and every one of you guys. Be vulnerable, be you, because when you are you, you inspire others to be who they are as well. So I was listening to Howie Mandel's Bell Let's Talk speech on YouTube. Google it, or YouTube it. He says that with his anxiety and depression, he dealt with it through comedy. And not because it was funny, but because people could relate. So when I was being evaluated this morning, some feedback that I received was, your humor, it's important to throw humor in such a heavy topic, right? To lighten the mood a little bit. Like, it's okay. So I went ahead and I shared with everybody my personal story of depression. And that's basically depression really, like, for as far back as I can remember, okay, like young, I just remember being unhappy and sad. And I just thought that that was normal. That's how most people felt. That was my reality. And that was for the first 16 years of my life, until at 17, I was diagnosed with depression, and then I began medication, okay? So from 17 until I was about 30, I was on medication, different medications. So, but depression has really kept me from enjoying moments, and I wasn't able to create memories the way I could have created memories. I would worry about, oh my God, what are they going to think? I can't wear a bathing suit in front of people. I can't frolic in the water with my kids. I can't do this. I can't do that. Oh my gosh, what are they going to think? Blah, 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 blah. Depression affects you in different ways. This is how depression affected me. It really prevented me from living in the now. And despite despite whatever medication I was on, I found myself hating life no matter how good it was. And I found myself hating who I was no matter how successful I became. I couldn't do anything right. Nobody could do anything right. I just was not loving myself. And so my sisters and I, like, we all experienced the same trauma, right? We all dealt with it a little bit differently. And I think I was labeled like the crazy one out of the family, because 9 years ago, I discovered holistic nutrition and alternative healing. And I decided to venture on this road of depression, pharmaceutical free. Okay. I'm just going to read a little bit of feedback here. Victoria says, no, it doesn't, but I am learning how to choose my battles, if that makes sense. Absolutely, it does, my love. But the feeling of being in the public eye and being probably intentional about what I say and how I feel, being that model, feels daunting. Absolutely. Take me, for instance. I'm sitting here talking to you like I would talk to anybody over a cup of coffee or over some kombucha, which is amazing, by the way. So I'm sitting there talking to you, and I could do what I used to do and worry about offending other people, or I could just be who I am, right? And I've chosen to be who I am because I spent 30 years not being who I am, or being fearful of being who I am. Does that make sense, Victoria? So I know you, Victoria, and you're an amazing person, and people absolutely adore you. I've never met one person who hasn't adored you, and you are you, okay? So if you can be more of you, even better. Mark says, what gets buried alive. Eventually, it's going to come to the surface. Absolutely, Mark. Unprocessed grief can lead to all kinds of unhealthy coping mechanisms. Yes. Resolving it frees us to receive the good life offers us. We have to let go to grow. Yes, exactly. I'm going to share with you and echo that a little bit about letting go to grow, okay? I love that you said that, Mark. Thank you. So, like I was saying, I'm the crazy one in the family, holistic nutrition all the way, went pharmaceutical free, even got my kids off of pharmaceuticals, and we went like literally eating whole raw foods and all this crazy stuff, all this amazing stuff. And since then, I've discovered that no matter my circumstance or trauma, I'm in control of my thoughts, right? Of my thoughts. No exceptions to this rule for me, none. I'm in control of my emotions. Absolutely no exception to the rule for me. This is my reality. This is what I've chosen to be my reality, okay? Is that I'm in control of what I feel. I'm in control of what I think. I'm kind of mixed that up, but they're both intertwined. So now that I'm aware, like I am aware that I experience depression. I'm aware of that. I don't pretend it's not there, okay? a lot of life coaches will fluff it, will think positive, think positive. No, me, exactly what Mark says. Psht, look at it, tell it like it is, and don't pretend it's not there. Don't hide it. I no longer hide it. I don't suppress it. And when I'm experiencing a challenging day, this is what I do. I say things like, I love you anyways. That's probably one of my favorite things to say. Like if I'm having a really bad, rough day, having a really challenging time breathing, experiencing anxiety, who the hell am I to run this empowering kids program? I'm not good enough for that. And so on and so forth. And those feelings spiral. I always say, Tanya, I love you anyways. It's okay. It is okay. It is okay. Keep going. Just do it anyway, Tanya. Do it anyway. And I really am my biggest support in that respect. Depression's real. And what like I was saying to you guys earlier, 3.5 years ago is when I started experiencing had my first experience with anxiety, right? Now, I remember a discussion that I was having with my grief recovery coach, and I said to her, like, my kids are happy 90% of the time. They wake up smiling, hug me, I love you, oh, I'm so happy, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, guys. That was funny. And if somebody was here, you'd be laughing with me. But I said to her, I'm like, I would look at my kids in awe going, what the hell? Why can't I be like that? Kind of like just a little bit jealous, but also happy that they're happy, you know? And she was quick to remind me that it's like, Tanya, be easy on yourself. Be easy on yourself. Your children didn't grow up with the same experiences that you had when you were younger. So they have a very different experience in life right now. And the next is, you don't know what you don't know, right? Be gentle on yourself. Now that you know, now that you're aware, you can begin to choose better feeling thoughts. And that has been my habit of those are the thoughts that I create habit out of. So I just shared with everybody, like, I'm probably the most unrealistic person that you will ever meet, okay? Because every decision I make, all the actions that I take, everything that inspires me, people look at me and they're like, what? That makes absolutely no sense. How the hell are you going to do that? That is not realistic. What are you thinking? So on and so forth. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So, but I attribute that to the fact that I say yes. I've created this habit of saying yes and worrying about it later. Saying yes and worrying about it later. Because for me, with depression and anxiety, I'm always going to worry about it. I will. I just will. And that's okay. I've just decided to shift it. I'll worry about it after. I'll panic about it after. Just like I said last week, I'll do a speech. And then I was like, holy shit, what did I just do? Worried about it after. And you know what? What? Right? Good things come when you say yes and worry about it later. So I'm really, really, really thankful. So I've been watching a lot of talks on depression and how it inspired other people's lives and so on and so forth. And this morning I was watching a TED Talk. And she couldn't explain it. I couldn't explain it better than she did. And she basically shared that all of her experiences with depression and anxiety have really, what they've done is they've created experiences and opened the doorways and created opportunities to create really powerful things in her life. And without the experience of anxiety and depression and all of these limiters, I would not have had the balls to create an Empowering Kids program 5 years ago, to believe that, hey, I've seen this program change lives. I'm creating an Empowering Kids coaching certification so other people can, you know, I can share it with other people how to implement it in whatever facility, even if you're a parent, this is how you do it. And open a freaking school. Who the hell am I, right? Absolutely. And this Invest in Yourself course, like, come on. So those, I think, and I'm so blessed to have all of these experiences that, number one, could have kept me back, could have held me back from doing what I want to do, or create something amazing with it, right? So Jamie says, being yourself publicly is scary because all good will be challenged. All good will be challenged. And learning to allow haters to hate and focus on those that love you, ask you are. Oh, as not ask. I think I'm stumbling over that, Jamie. Victoria says, so true, Jamie. So imagine, here's my invitation to you okay. I get it. Thank you for sharing, everyone. Here's my invitation to you. Imagine what you can accomplish or help someone else accomplish simply by honoring you, okay? Honoring you. Basically saying, just being who you are. Honoring you, in my eyes, is being who you are, creating those healthy boundaries, not letting anybody tell you that, keep that to yourself, right? If you feel the need to express it, if it's inspiring you to create something really, really, really powerful, love you as you are, Jamie. Was that for me or Victoria? Or everybody? Thanks, Jamie. But what I'm trying to say is, don't let your anxiety or depression limit you. If you think that you can't create a profitable business, a kick-ass business, a coaching business, if you think that you can't do something because of anxiety and depression, I call bullshit. I call bullshit. And the way to get around that is by just knowing it, okay? Because you guys watched this today, you now know better. So you can either choose to ignore what you heard today and ignore everybody else out there who's extremely successful, but yet still dealing with anxiety and depression, or you can choose to go, you know what, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it anyway because this person's doing it, that person's doing it, so on and so forth, okay? You guys can absolutely do this no matter what. Also, to clarify my other point. Yeah. Oh, okay. Thanks, Jamie. And so I'm going to go flip over and I'm going to show you what people can do. I'm going to show you what you can inspire by showing up and being you, okay? Give me a minute. Hopefully I don't need a minute to screen share, but 1 second. So here's the thing. Here's Miss Morgan, okay? The reason why I'm going to begin by showing you Miss Morgan. Morgan is a client of mine. She worked with me, and within the first 60 days, she created an online program, her module site, all of it. And guess what she does? She teaches people how she healed her anxiety and depression through nature. So she's broken it up into 6 steps, and now she teaches people those specific 6 steps to heal their anxiety and depression through her powerful program that I just helped her with. It all came from within. All of her experiences, everything. You guys got to check this girl out. Find her, Morgan Zaretsky. I'm gonna actually, I'll find it and I'll pop it into the chat box for you. But Morgan Zaretsky, Just pull her up here. Hold on. Because my computer's slow. I don't know why. But it's going to be worth it, I promise. So here you are. Go find her on Facebook. There's the link. Find her on Facebook, like her, and Morgan, you're here. Okay, so there's her website. Welcome, Morgan. Morgan has a really powerful program. It's kick-ass, and it's all through nature. And she's going to be doing a talk for the Empowering Kids Alternative Learning Center coming up in the next month or two. She's got a really powerful presentation, and look her up and support her. Now, if I let anxiety and depression stop me, like it stopped me for so many years in the past, I wouldn't have been able to provide this information so she could provide a kick-ass program and show up for the people who are looking for her, right? And here is the book 402, Sherry Selly, another one of my clients. If I didn't say yes and worry about it later, then I couldn't have supported and encouraged Miss Sherry Selly to do what her heart has been called to do, and that is create a powerful online program and write this book and get it out there. And guess what, guys? You can order it's up for pre-sale right now. You can order your book now, because guaranteed this book will be sold out. All right. So the book 402, Sherry Selly, at the age of 16, she tells her story about how she was held captive, and I won't get into any more, but how she overcame that, how she even overcame physical symptoms that showed up later on in life, and so on and so forth. She was MIA for a very long time, and she spoke at the Plan Your Success workshop, and everybody there was in complete awe of her story and just awe of, wow, how the hell did you become such a powerful, amazing, sweet, loving human being? So that's the shit that can happen. That's the shit that can happen, not just for you, but for so many other people who are looking, who are only going to resonate with you, right? They're only going to resonate with you. Okay. What else happens? This is my dear friend, Jen Marie. And I'm telling you, all of my clients end up being my friends. This is Jen Marie. She was stuck in corporate and an unhappy relationship. She wasn't being treated properly. She wasn't even being treated properly in corporate. And we met at the day that she resigned. She didn't know what she was going to do, but she resigned, and then she signed up for the program that like a week or two after we met. And now what does she do? She teaches yoga full-time. Okay, she's living her dream full-time. Not only that, she's available for her little ones all the time, and she teaches yoga in schools. And I'm telling you guys right now, it's not the easiest thing to get yoga in schools. But this little one, she does. And another one of my clients absolutely does that as well. She gets yoga in schools. So this is the shit that can happen when you show up just for you. The coolest thing about this is that you show up for you, and that is the strongest way to model success, or to inspire success, is by showing up for you and modeling it for everyone else around you. So there's Morgan Zaretsky's website, www.natureessence.org. Mark says, what stands in the way becomes the way. I love that, Mark. I love it. Quote that. Put your name to that. That's a beautiful quote. Morgan says, I love that your webinar is almost exactly the same as the Facebook Live video I made yesterday for Bell Let's Talk Day. I didn't even get to watch it yet, Morgan. I didn't get to watch it yet. I was too wrapped up in writing this speech, but I'll watch that this afternoon. How exciting. I'm celebrating each and every one of you guys for being here live on the webinar, for being here live watching the YouTube, or for watching the replay. Okay, Bell Let's Talk. I don't get involved in many in many things. How do I say it? I want to say something, but again, I don't want to be offensive because I'm a little ignorant, but commercially promoted things happening out there, right? I really love authenticity, and I love the little man. But after watching some of those videos and how brave people were, they really inspired me. And I had to go and say, you know what? It's speaking to me, and I'm going to honor that. And so I'm so grateful for Bell Let's Talk Day, because more people than you think experience anxiety and depression, more people than you think. And it's not an embarrassing thing. It's not something that you need to hide. It's not something to be ashamed of. Okay. It is what it is. It's reality for so many people. And the more that we allow it to become reality and not a shameful thing, the more you're going to inspire everybody else to say, hey, yeah, this is an issue for me too. Let's talk about it, because what you share and what you model, if you can do it, I can do it. And here, this is what's going to help you. This is what's going to help you, and so forth and so on. 1 in 5 Canadians will have a mental health issue in their lifetime. There you go. So talk about it. Be authentic. Shame is one of the lowest vibrational emotions that you can experience out there. So if you're sitting and keeping yourself in shame and hiding away because of something that you're ashamed to tell anybody out there, then you're really creating more of that vibration, and you're not going to be able to experience true happiness. So just be who you are. Love who you are. Love yourself anyway. Put that on the top of your list for affirmations. I love you anyway. And I'm just celebrating each and every one of you guys for being here. If you are interested in talking to me a little bit more about the investinyourselfcourse.com, creating your coaching, consulting, advising, healing business, all around, what's important to you. For me, it's family, and it began homeschooling. I was homeschooling for 5 years. I needed to pursue my passion and do it around what was important for me. But it might be something different for you guys. So if you're interested in talking to me more about that and getting your business up and going so you can show up for the people who are looking for you, then investinyourselfcourse.com. I put some time aside for us to speak. 60-minute call, yours for free, my gift to you. And I want you guys to take care. Share this webinar. Share my live streams. Share my webinar. Come connect with me. I do whatever I can to give you guys as much as I can. And I want people to be aware that anxiety and depression is not going to keep you small. Bullshit. Use it to your advantage. Okay? Go out there and connect with the people who are meant to connect with you. Have an amazing day. Bye.